All right. Hey, Femme Fam. Welcome back.
Hey,
I always say
y'all.
welcome back like as if we've been gone, but we just saw you guys last week or, I mean, whatever. But hey, it's a new season for us, which means we are on, 91 episodes, right?
91, baby. Let's go.
Holy hell. All
Holy
right.
hell. I know. I'm just, wow. The countdown begins to our 100th. And
Whoop,
it's
whoop.
always like a good, fun little check-in when you hit that 100 mark, You're like,
Yeah.
we stuck it out. We did the thing. And we're going to continue on, guys. We just love this. We love this platform. We love you guys. And, we hope you still like the Frenchy music intro, the outro. You want to let us know. Feel free to drop that comment. Just let us know about all the things. But we're still here doing it. And we still love it. And
Yeah.
wow, 9 season 9.
I know.
Yay.
One thing I would love to hear from you guys is suggestion for guests. If you know anybody personally that we could get in touch with, or if there's just somebody you would love to hear on the show, like we'll figure it out. We'll find them. We'll track them down. So yeah, would love some ideas of some new guests from you guys.
Yeah, because we definitely have gotten suggestions from y'all before, and we listened. We have them on. We're here to support. So for sure, if you think there's someone perfect that you either are connected to have on or, want on, yeah, absolutely. Let us know.
Yeah.
But that takes us to episode 1 solo session with your girls. Yes.
Hi, guys.
It's just us, Carolina and Tessa. If you're new to the show, welcome. We laugh because I feel that from season 1, we've really changed our groove or flow, nailed down, and we've expanded expanded is the right, I guess, way to put it. We're now our episodes are a little longer. We hope you guys are liking all the tea that our guests are bringing on. We just feel like we can really get into it now, and Zoom has been really great for us to record over and have those conversations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, to the platform of Zoom. I'm sure none of you guys are listening to this, but honestly, so appreciative to have this platform because it's made doing these virtual interviews so easy. I mean, we've done a few over other platforms with other podcasts, and Zoom has definitely beaten them all. This has been the easiest thing to record over. So if you're a budding podcaster, we highly suggest using Zoom if you're going to go virtual.
Oh yeah, it's really easy, and yeah. It's just easy to send a link over. So it's been fun. We wanted to talk to you guys about some things we got going on in this solo session. And something we mention here and there is our Patreon. Or Patreon. I said that funny.
It's like tomato, whatever.
But our Patreon, thank you to those who have subscribed. It's a monthly paid subscription. As little as $1 gets you a nice little shout out from your girls, but a little as $5 gets you all the exclusive content that we are delivering behind the scenes or finding additional things to send your way. So there are different tiers, and you guys can check it out at www.patreon.com/femregard. But I just wanted to pimp out a couple things that we're releasing in the coming months, and by this time this episode airs, some of it will be already out. But for April's Patreon, starting there, we do a deep dive brainstorm session of the new feature film script we're working on. And we thought it was really unique in sharing that it's that vulnerable stage in a story. It's not something you really see or hear about on a podcast. You're not going to just share that with just anyone and everyone because you're still processing what your story is. And we bring on a screenwriter to break it down with us. Shout out to Samuel Douglas Miller. He's amazing. He's a great screenwriter, and he was really very instrumental, very helpful. You don't always need a screenwriter to be your soundboard, but we really wanted to step it up with someone who does this for a living and can really give you guys some tips along the way, as he gave me even exercises along the way that were so smart and helpful. And so it's a long one. It's a biggie. So we split it up into 2 parts. But by the end of part 2, oh, do we have a story? We are so excited. We touched upon it a little bit in last season, it being a psychological thriller, but wow, we really delve into it. And I think when we have it really, really solidified, because now I'm in the outlining stages, and I personally feel like that's a stage you can't rush, because it's integral to you setting your full story up. And then I feel like, along the way, you can kind of plug it in and take your time writing it and being creative about, how you go along it, doing your first draft and stuff. So that can be, I feel like, a little bit more structured. Everyone's different, but for me, I feel like I can then really get into the meat of the story once I have the outline done. So I'm really excited. Sam was so helpful, and that's just one thing our patrons are getting an exclusive preview to.
Yeah, and I just want to mention too, you had said, you don't always get to like have a screenwriter as your soundboard, but like when you do have those relationships, use them, and don't use and abuse them, obviously. But, like he agreed to sit down with Carolina and just chat as long as it took. And, if people are willing to share their knowledge with you, because a lot of people are excited that somebody thinks that they know what they're talking about, and wants to like pick their brain, and B, like they just want to give back. I mean, that's why we have this podcast with you guys. Like we just want to give back to the community that has helped us rise up, and to teach new people coming into this community. So, if somebody's willing to sit down with you, absolutely take advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you just need someone who's enthusiastic, who loves storytelling and wants to, be excited and take and listen, and give you some feedback. And Tessa and I are really a great partnership for that too. She's really my soundboard. We've talked about this on the show. I'm really the writer here, but we work together, and it's, I think you guys, if you're working on something, absolutely find a person like that. That's going to just really help you figure out your thoughts and yeah, come together. So I love that advice, Tessa. Absolutely. Like, you someone who in the biz or in that world, tap into it. It doesn't hurt to ask,
Yeah. And it doesn't always even have to be a writer if you're writing, like It can be somebody that's more in the producer vein, but they still know how a movie works and comes together, so.
Right. Yeah. And we'll touch on another thing, I think another tool later on this season of a great community that's started my journey throughout the whole screenwriting process. And well, just shout it out real quick. That's Gnome Kroll's Backlot. He's someone we're going to have again on the season to talk about that community. So we'll put a pin on that. But definitely something that has created a structure around my writing, because you're not thinking of just only the story. If you're just a screenwriter, that's cool. Yeah, think about only the story. But if you're producing it, you're thinking about the financial aspects of it too for a low budget indie. So, there's a lot of that you can prepare for in your beginning outlining stages even. So Gnome's been instrumentally helpful there, and we're so excited to have him on later on this season to talk about it.
Also, just to some other communities too that we've met through doing this podcast, having guests on, is Rain Dance, based in UK, but they are available to everyone worldwide, and Sundance Collab, which has its own like little writers lab in the community. So it's not just writing, but they have a little special niche of that. And yeah, I mean, there's so many different communities, and we try to share, whatever we find with you guys. But if there's some that you have found that we haven't mentioned, please let us know. We're always looking for more.
Oh yeah, we're here for it, 100%. And Tessa, do you want to tell them what also our patrons are going to get an exclusive first look at?
Yes. So, since we started this podcast, you guys have heard us talk about our very first project, which was a Western that we finally are finishing. Now, don't get too excited. It's not the feature film version, but it is a proof of concept short video. If you guys don't know what a proof of concept is, think of it as like a mix between like a scene and a trailer. So it's not as like chopped up and promo-y as a trailer, but it's essentially one scene that captures, you know, the whole like vibe of the film. So it has taken us, what, 3 years now? Because we had, you know, it was our first project. We set it aside for a while because we just got so frustrated with post-production and we were still learning so much, but
in the words of Ruth from Ozark, we didn't know shit about fuck.
Yeah.
and we did our best to like really learn everything, but I mean breaking it down to even editing it, like we just got Adobe Premiere. Like we had not been editors, we had not been in this world at all. And so I mean, we'll eventually do a behind the scenes story about the whole thing, but I think part of the reason why it took us so long, and I'm so glad that we didn't just give up, because Tessa knows there's times I was just like looking at the footage and I was like, I think I'd killed it and I don't know what to do, and we just wasted all our time and money and I want to cry.
Yeah.
But no, I think sometimes I think the lesson learned was you need to just take a step back, let it breathe, let yourself. I mean, I worked on a couple short films in the interim, and then I got better at editing, and then all of a sudden it didn't feel like a lost cause anymore. And yeah, I had to redo some shit, but I mean, that's the name of the game. You're always gonna have to like be revising, fixing some things, and we're just now at a point we are so excited, guys. We're so excited.
I want to say my lesson learned was let Queen Carolina do the video editing.
Thanks, Tessa. I'm glad you like it at the end of it, what I did. Oh God, she trusted me, guys. She did, but thank you.
Well, hey, she proved it. Like, I am so impressed and so excited for you guys to see it.
Oh, yeah. And it is exciting. I mean, looking back, choosing the Western, and how crazy, guys. We talk about jumping in and just doing it all the time, guys. Did we just jump in and do it? Because now looking at it, we're like, why didn't we just do a simple apartment scene and something else, like, in another world? But we balled out on it, and honestly, I'm actually really happy. I'm very grateful we did, because of the lessons we learned. But now we pulled it off. We pulled it off, guys. I think so. You guys don't know, but I think so. We pulled it off.
I mean, now I have footage to add to my reel of me shooting a revolver backwards on a horse. Wasn't supposed to be backwards, but that's just how the day went.
I was not even mad when that happened. I mean, that horse was not happy with us at the end of the day. He was like ready to, buck Tessa off. He wasn't having it. This is what happens when you work with that
revolver.
Exactly. Because the revolver, they were movie horses, which, by the way, guys, like, we can, like I said, we're going to do a breakdown of like everything. But yeah, he just wanted to spin around, and I was like, Tessa, I'm not even mad. That kind of looks dope. Like, you shoot it backwards. Like, let's go. And I'm just I look like Goldilocks on this horse. Like, in the actual movie, let me preface this, I will not be wearing a wig. Because I don't know.
Yeah, we changed that
idea. We're gonna change that idea, but again, proof of concept. It's not the final version. Right. It's there to showcase the world and what you can do with your own money. Like, we did this on our own dime. So, what's up, Ollie?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So, our patrons are going to get the first look at that. And I think they deserve it, because you guys are awesome for supporting us. So, thank you again. And if you want to hop on that train, you
got time.
You got time. You got time. That'll be, in a couple months. So, woo.
Other announcements. Let's talk about merch first. So if you guys have not seen, we are now selling merch. For those of you that were that are Patreons, you guys got some free merch, and we've expanded now what we have available. So if you don't mind spending a little bit to support us, you kind of, I guess you have the option. You can become a Patreon and get your free merch and then, be supporting us monthly, or you can make a one-time purchase or however many times you want to purchase things. But we've got a few different items. Like we've got a hat, we've got multiple shirts, we've got multiple mugs, we've got a sweatshirt. That's what I'm going to buy because I think it's hella cute.
Me too, girl.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of things.
Yeah. Shout out to my best friend, Jenna Becker, who is going to be wearing our Femme merch while watching me on the Wheel of Fortune. Guys, I was on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
It's going to be out after this episode airs, and I don't need any of y'all to watch it. But fun fact. That's what happened. But no, it's been really fun to see those who have purchased it. Oh my gosh, Katrina Sobrero, shout out to her. She purchased like our new line right before we even like announced it. I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, Tessa, people are on our site and looking us up.
I know. I was like, how did she even find that already?
we didn't announce it, but no, it's really exciting. I think it's really cute. We're definitely gonna have to do a shoot, girl.
Yeah.
Promo it out because guys, it is cute. And we will probably be adding some more things. So yeah, let us know what you like. And
yeah, if you have any ideas for any other stuff. Yeah, if you buy something, take a picture so we can share it on social media.
Reshare, repost. We're here for it. So yeah, that's exciting. And then another exciting announcement is our Femme Fam group or club, on Clubhouse. If you guys don't know what Clubhouse is, it is an app that is relatively, it's pretty new, actually, still. I would consider it still very new.
It's like a few months old, I think, at this point. That's it.
Yeah. And we hopped on there because what we thought was really cool about it is it's pretty much like live podcasting. You get a bunch of different speakers on different topics who set up these clubs. And so again, we are Club Femme Fam if you look for us. And there's topics that are set and you can hear pretty much the CEO of some giant, if you're into tech company, give advice or tell you about the new tech that's out there. And for us, we're like, well, that's a great extension for our show because guys, we can open up the floor and let you hop in the chat and, we can all be talking and having a conversation on filmmaking, what's new, directing, screenwriting tips. We're here for that all and something we're going to try and do. And, again, it's going to be after, this episode airs, but we'll continue is bringing on guests from our show to have events because you can host events on there. And so that way some of your favorite speakers, when they're on, you get a chance to maybe ask them a question or two, So we're really excited about it. I think it's a really great medium for us to expand what we do on here, to interact with you guys a little more.
And by the way, for Clubhouse, you have to have an iPhone right now to be able to use it, and you need to be invited. So if anyone with an iPhone would like to be invited to Clubhouse, let us know. I know I have a few invites, and I'm surprised how many they give you. Like I used all of mine, and then they were like refilled almost immediately, and I'm like never even on there. But yeah, if you guys need an invite, let us know. And yeah, we want you to be a part of the Femme Fam Clubhouse.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Fafalius, and I'm the producer of Krista Makes a Podcast and the host of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
And I'm Matt Kelly, host of Horror Movie Night and the producer / the head of content for the Geekscape Podcasting Network.
Between the two of us, we have, believe it or not, 25 years of podcasting experience, and we want to help you start your own podcast.
We know podcasting, and we want to share that knowledge with you.
So whether you're new to podcasting or you want some feedback on your currently active podcast, we want to help.
Or perhaps you're just overwhelmed with all of the editing work. Well, we can help you with that also.
You can contact us at info@weknowpodcasting.com for more information.
We're excited to help your podcasting dreams become a reality.
Just slide into our DMs, That's as easy as that. You know how to do it. So we're very excited to continue to share and talk and have conversations on there.
But yeah, it's really great to bring people together. And we talk about that constantly on the show. Like it blows my mind how many of our like circle have connected with each other. I actually just reposted, Carolina, you probably didn't even see this yet. So Ari Johnson from What's Your Secret podcast that me and Carolina were both on separately just interviewed Ebony Adams from WIF, who we had on our show a while back. And Ari said that that's how she got on her radar. Like, so
Aw,
yeah, people are
that's so
finding each other
sweet.
through our show, which is really awesome. And to me, it's so inspiring that like, even if we don't, have the biggest numbers or whatever, like we're bringing people together. Like we are
That's what we
creating
care
this
about.
Femme Fam community. Yeah.
That's what it is for us, we we love to make a living, but at the end of the day, this is what matters most, and that's what brings us so much joy. Like I love connecting with you guys and getting to know everyone on who listens and who is on the show. Like everyone's so amazing. So that's so awesome to hear, Tessa. Thanks for putting that
Yeah.
out there. That is so
Totally.
cool. And definitely listen to her podcast. She's amazing.
Yeah. There's like so many shout outs in this episode.
I know.
So you guys, just something I want to say. If you ever get shouted out on an episode and you're like, why the hell didn't she tag me? What the fuck? It's because we use this program called Buffer, which I do really love, but it is very limited in the Instagram space because Instagram just doesn't allow a lot of like other apps to do much through them. So I'm only limited to 5 tags per post. So if I don't tag you and you're sad, it's not because I was ignoring you. I just have to only can do 5. So
yeah, thanks for making that apparent. We never want anyone to feel like they were left out.
I usually try to like hashtag people if I get them. So if you find your name in a hashtag, that's why.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's okay. You actually cut that. That's so funny because it's not funny. So moving it along. Okay, you can keep that. Whatever. Organic. Sometimes I listen to some of these episodes. I'm like, Tessa, why don't you cut that, please? Like,
Because it's funny.
Oh, girl. No, I mean updates on anything new and exciting that you've tuned into, Tessa. I know there's something.
Well, as I've mentioned before, I've been taking a lot of virtual classes in quarantine. And it's been nice to have that opportunity, but I am definitely like, I don't want to do any more acting classes on Zoom. Like I need that to be in person. I've learned that. I can't. But things that are more like lecture centered, stuff like that, like panels and all that kind of stuff, I'm really, really glad that I've had access to that over the course of quarantine. So one of the most recent ones I did was from Masterclass. And another shout out, my friend Dave Snyder, who bought me the Masterclass subscription for my birthday. Thank you so much, Dave, because I have definitely used it as much as I can fit it into my schedule,
Yeah.
to take another class and another class and another class. But most recently, I took the one that Issa Rae taught, and it was such a cool class. Like I mean, in our episode with Sujata, I'm like fangirling Issa the whole time. I fucking love her.
Oh yeah. Can I just interject real
Uh-huh.
quick? And yes, after Sujata's episode, I binged Insecure. That's
Mhm.
Issa Rae's show on HBO, and I just loved it so much. The writing is so fucking funny. She is so funny. And continue. I just had to say,
Totally.
now I understand why you were fangirling hard. So good. So
Exactly.
good.
But I love her class because it's like, it's not, a lot of the teachers on there, have been famous for decades. So it's like, they're just kind of listing it out like, this is what you need to do. This is step 1, this is step 2, because they've been doing it for years and years and years, and that's not to say they're not any good. Like I've still had other great classes, but just the format of it was very different. With hers, it was like, this is all the shit I did wrong, so don't do this. This is how I eventually made it, and this is the reality of it. And because she didn't get famous until in her 30s, and she was working at it for a while before then, so
Yeah.
she just really shares, her experience and what actually worked and didn't work for her. And I really loved that aspect of it, because I feel like that's what we bring to our show, and yeah, it was just it was educational, but also like, okay, this is real. Like, this isn't just a step 1, 2, 3 class. Like, this is a conversation, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, Tessa sent me some clips my way because one centered around screenwriting, and just to give you guys a taste of what that was, the advice she was giving, was, you're told that you need to write every day. That is what you got to do. She puts it as, you got to write every day. You got to get up, don't brush your teeth, go and write. And I was just like, that is, and she was basically saying like, I learned that wasn't the process for me, that I'm a procrastinator, and I embrace that part of my process.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, girl, like, of course, there's so many of us that are kind of like that. And I think it's, about setting what expectations you have for yourself that you can actually fulfill. Because at the end of the day, what I've heard from other writer friends, and it's happened to me before, is like, you set that expectation to write every day, and if you're not hitting that goal, then you feel like you're failing, and then you have this now issue of, I'm failing at this, when really maybe that's just not your process to write every day. Maybe you need to just once a week sit down and write for 12 hours. Like, it could be a whole binge thing. I think I work better in binge sessions personally. And I like that she also mentioned there that it was cutting out, along with the binge idea, if that's how you work, is making sure you don't have anything else set up that day. Like, it is just a day to write, because I totally get it. If you have meetings scheduled, breaking it up, it's hard to get back in the zone,
Yeah.
So I thought that was such a great advice, is like, if you're going to have a writing session, like, really just dedicate that time to be uninterrupted by other things, and like checking your phone away. Like, I do that anyways when I'm working. It's very easy to go down the rabbit hole of like just automatically clicking through and getting distracted. So I thought that was really just real, and again, something that we can all relate to, and not just go with what we've always been hearing. I thought it was really cool. So thanks for sending me that. You made my night. I was like, thanks, Tessa, this is what I need to hear. So it's all, like we say on the show, it's all about finding out what works for you, and setting achievable goals, Yeah,
because you have to remember, I mean, this is an industry where there's no like one way to success, right? And I think in a lot of industries, like, that's changing for everything, like the tech world it's new and innovative stuff coming into it. And even like marketing is the face of that is changing. And it's just, everything is, people are realizing that the old ways aren't the only way. Yeah. But the entertainment industry has been something that has forever been like that. There is no one path to success. And I think now with the advent of like new media and social media, and just, there's so many different ways to create and different ways to make it, and different paths, that you really just have to find what works for you. And that's why we try to share our story and other people's stories on our show, to show you what worked for them and what has worked for us and what hasn't worked. But take it all with a grain of salt. Do not take it as fact, just, this is what has and hasn't worked for these particular people. So try it and see what it does for you,
Yes. Amazing. Absolutely. And that's something, just want to reiterate, that if you find that something you're feeling like, okay, I'm failing at this, then try a different process. Because again, you just don't want to have to carry that building of insecurity that you're not doing it right and not well enough. Like, first of all, just like we always said, just try, just write, just do it, shoot it. And then you can rework from there. I mean, we talked about, I think, in the beginning of season 8, our first, Just Us episode, episode 1 of season 8, we talk about, not being precious with everything, but at the same time, I think, that's what I wanted to circle back to. One of our scripts that we were going to shoot last year, we had to take a pause and kind of pivot from it, because we realized, production costs wasn't going to do it justice if we did it on a low budget film. And 2, the story needed for, on my end, I realized I had an amazing proof of concept written, but as a whole, I didn't have the whole thing together, and it just didn't make sense to move forward shooting something that you don't know how it's going to quite end. Just, you need your story. And I was starting to get bogged down because there was just all these little details, and I was starting to get overwhelmed. And I think it's easy for me to get down and feel like a failure. Like, okay, I just failed the story. Like, shoot. And I'm determined. I know sometimes you learn by doing a whole outline that maybe it's not the story for you, or it's not actually a story. But I do believe there is a story there. I just think it needs the B story worked out and all that fun stuff. But I realized, like, we can't shoot this yet. So why don't I work on something smaller and really hone in on that outline? And so that's why it's been really refreshing starting this year with this new concept, because when I work through now this new process, because I'm not someone who's really honed in on my own process yet. Now doing it this new approach of like really outlining everything and doing a beat sheet, stuff like that, that I didn't do for the other story. I think now that when I complete this, I'm going to have a much easier time going back and revising it. And it's going to inspire me again, because I feel like I kind of lost the fire a little bit and got like really overwhelmed. And I'm just opening that can of worms for anyone who can relate to that, feeling like, shoot, like I just feel really stuck. Well, maybe take a pause on it, and it's okay. Like, don't feel like you failed at that. It's just not ready yet. You're not ready to fully either pause and then come back. Like, maybe you just need to let it breathe or sometimes it helps to like work on something else. And typically if it's smaller, you can really just get something done, and then you're like, okay, I accomplished again that I did it, and now I feel confident enough to go back and rework where maybe I had some problem areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else I think about this industry, that's like, there's no defining like what makes you successful. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a different end goal. So like,
it only really matters what you find success to mean to you. Like, you have to define that yourself. Absolutely.
Exactly. As little as like the small scale of like, how am I going to be successful with this particular project? Is it just finishing it and being happy with the draft, or is it seeing it through all of production to your whole career? Like, do I want to be A-list famous, or do I just want to be a working actor? It's just, you've got to decide that and define that for yourself. And I think that being clear about that also helps you when you are feeling that like imposter syndrome. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I didn't quite get there yet, but like I have accomplished this and this, and that's putting me on the path to getting where I want to be. So
absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that you said that too, because I've had some friends open up about like leaving LA and feeling not like they can't share that with the entertainment community friends that they have, because they're like, oh, so you're giving up? And it's like, no, bish, I just want to, success doesn't define where I'm located, and yeah, like obviously being in one of the filmmaking meccas, like there's a lot more connections here. This city really does breathe entertainment. Like, just everyone's in part of it in some way, and it's awesome. But that doesn't have to define your success. We've had so many people on the podcast that are in different states doing the thing, and that's because for them too, it's the success, and that's what I like really aspire to do at the end of the day, is make films. Like, as long as I'm making it and we ain't broke, we can I feel like that, and really like owning a story and really being happy with the final product. I think that's going to bring the most joy,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that like we completed that, like just like how it is right now. I think, Tessa, we can look back at Desert Flowers, for instance. Like, we are so happy right now and pumped about it, and that's not bringing us money. Like, they were just
Right.
like, okay, yeah, this is the step. Like, just what you said, it was our journey, and now we're like, okay, it took time, but now I think we have such a better grasp on things that we're ready for our feature, which also fun fact, like I mean, you, Tessa, can speak to this too. Like, I'm always like, are we ready? We're gonna do the feature. We shouldn't do a short. Like, we're gonna do the feature.
I have
ready.
had to talk Carolina into keeping it into a feature several times. But I think for me, I feel like we're ready for that. I feel like we're ready for a low budget feature that's, it's going to be simple, but it's going to be a feature. Like, I think we need to push for it and we need to do it. And, there's always, we can film a million shorts after that. It doesn't mean once you film your first feature, you can't go back to shorts, I just think, I think we're ready to get that under our belt. And I think this is a great story for that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. And I'm so glad you're championing it for us. And it's funny, on Noam's backlot, that was another filmmaker's struggle. He was like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I need to do some more shorts, like really have that short that I feel so proud about before I do the feature. And literally everyone in the chat was like, no, just do the feature, just shoot it. And it was actually really awesome. And I literally chimed in too, and I was like, no, I had totally the same thoughts, and no, I'm just gonna do the feature. You're gonna, what Noam said that was so inspiring was that he was like, even if it's not your greatest work, because like it's hard for it to be, your first thing. That's
your first few things.
your first few things, you're gonna still have, because he was worried maybe he didn't have a community built enough up yet for it. But it's like, no, you have work to show and work to talk about with people, and to really have a conversation around it. You have a final product, and then you can only get better from there, right? So
yeah,
it's I think, yeah, you got to be smart on how you do things, but it's a lesson you got to learn. And I think Tessa, I think we're ready for it. So guys, it's we like to keep you guys up to date with ourselves, and that's why I'm being fully transparent here on the ups and downs with certain stories and scripts and where we're at and the timeline. And that's partly why we have this podcast too, if you're tuning in for the first time, is that we're here to share our journey in the production biz, and it's a long one for us. We have acting gigs and other jobs that we work on, and so for us it takes a little longer probably than people who are fully doing films 20. That's
I mean,
it.
This isn't our only job. Like, we've still got day jobs, and we're following our acting careers as well. Like, this isn't the only thing we're doing. And on top of, podcasting itself could be a full-time job, and we're doing that on top. Like, we've got a lot on our plate, and I know a lot of independent filmmakers feel the same way. Some of you that may be listening, you're doing it the same way.
You do and we are claps. And I know, like, we do it because we do love it. Like, we've started this episode and we love podcasting. We're here. But yeah, I actually was counting in the extra things that we set up, Tessa, the other day. I'm like, okay, we have the Patreon exclusives that we're doing now, like Clubhouse stuff. Like, yeah, our plate's pretty busy. But that's why we know there's tools to make it easier for you, and that's why it's important to, like, for me, I realized, like, once I have the structure and the outline, I can just now dedicate slots into my schedule to just write and be focused on that. So that's where we're at, guys. We're excited to continue to share our journey, our ups and downs, and but right now it's up and up. It's gonna be up and up and up. and thanks for tuning in. I don't know if there's anything else you want to share, Tessa, but I think we got it.
The only other thing I want to say is if you are a new listener and you like don't even know who we are yet, we are. You can find out as much as you want about us from our website, which is just femregard.com. And we are active across all the social medias, but especially on Instagram, which is just at femregard. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. I mean, we're technically on TikTok, but like not really. But now, like we said earlier, you can find us on Clubhouse. That's going to be our new thing too. So we're just happy to have you guys listening and supporting us always. And we'll see you for the next few episodes till we get to episode 100.
Oh yeah, so excited. Cheers to that, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for listening to Femme Regard Podcast. If you like what you hear, tune in every Friday for more tips on the filmmaking business and insightful conversations with industry professionals.
We can only grow with your support, so please subscribe, share, rate, and review. You can also join the Femme Fam on Patreon. For more on us, check us out at femregard.com.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.